Welcome to the next Service Provider podcast. We're here discussing everything SBC, Session Border Controllers. So I'm Paul Craft, I'm the Business Development Manager here at Techland, and I'm joined by Gareth Nunn. Gareth.
Thanks, Paul. For those who don't know, my name is Gareth Nunn, as Paul just said. I've been with Techland for almost 20 years with various different roles within the organisation, and currently as head of sales support.
Fantastic. So I thought it'd be a good sort of starting point to look at, talk around the acquisition which we made a year ago, a company called EnableX, which comprised of three companies. So there was Pragma, which is LG Ericsson business. We had Candio, which is cybersecurity business for the SMB market. And then Techland, which is a gold distributor of ribbon SBCs. Firstly, Gareth, who are Techland?
Okay. So Techland are one of the industry's best kept secret. We have been established for a long time, since 1983, and we've evolved through various different technologies that we sell. And for the last 20 years, we've been focused on session border controllers, stroke voice gateways, and built a channel from essentially 0 partners up to a good 85-90% of the Microsoft Voice partners in the UK today that we actually work with. And the vendor that we have been aligned with through that entire period is Ribbon Communications, formerly Sonus, formerly NET, and for the really old school lot, Quantum Technologies. So we've been around, we've got the scars, and we do what distributors do, which is supply the hardware, or more importantly, or more frequently now, the software of the session border controllers. And we have capability to ship that all around the UK, all around the world. But really where our reputation comes from, our value add, is not just understanding the product itself, but the actual environments that these session border controllers are being deployed into. So Techland provide professional services. We have our own in-house support team offering level 1 and level 2 break fix support on the session border controllers, with escalation into the vendor ribbon for level 3, level 4. And we also have our professional services wraparound for the installation and the commissioning of session border controllers. So collectively, our support team and professional service team each individually have a good 20-25 years of experience per head. Right. So what they don't know is not worth knowing, and really that's the why partners prefer to work with Techland within this particular industry and sector. One of the reasons why partners enjoy very much working with Techland is our international landed cost capability, otherwise known as DDP, so duty prepaid, which means that partners can get involved with huge global rollouts where equipment is required in multiple countries and touch points, and have that sort of white service, white glove delivery of this, hassle-free, which has enabled many of our partners to get involved with multiple sites, sometimes in their hundreds globally. So once, and that's a great peace of mind and a great value add, once the equipment has arrived in country, then Techland can remotely configure the session border controllers to work with the relevant environment. And then once installation is up and running and the system has been commissioned, then we hand that over to a support piece, providing the level 1, level 2, level 2 break fix support service from Techland, otherwise known as priority care.
Fantastic. Well, I've seen, we're working with a lot of the partners. I think we cover sort of 95% of countries.
Absolutely, yes.
Globally for the delivery piece. The pre-sales, some, like I said, take as much or as little, but if they're pretty hands-on, sometimes use pre-sales just to validate what they're looking at, and then advise, actually, there's some latest technology might be coming around the corner. So it's always getting that sort of advice to partners, which I think has been pretty key.
There's a couple of grade of partners. We've got the low skill partners and the high skill partners. Many of our high skill partners will either prefer for Techland to do all the professional services on their behalf because it frees up their services team to deliver other parts of the project, or the other half of that high skill partner is that they use Techland as and when their service delivery capability is in high demand and they can't quite meet a certain deadline. So that's where we would be an extra pair of hands for the partner from a professional services basis. And then on the other hand, we've got our low skill partners that have no interest in supporting the customer at all. They're working in a transactional manner, which again suits Techland fine because we can support them with the bid, knowing that Techland can provide the level 1 and the level 2 maintenance and support on the product itself, plus the professional services wraparound. So that's hopefully addresses the point of the USPs that Techland can provide to our partners and the value add. And last but not least, is important for our governmental customers is that we have SC clearance for various different roles and deployments within blue light or government scenarios.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to switch a bit and really just touch on the market side of things and what we're seeing in the market. Over the last few years, we've seen that explosion of Teams. Everyone's talked around that with over 320 million users now globally and counting. Customers moving from that on-premise to a cloud-based platform. But there's still a lot of legacy out there. There's a lot of businesses which are trying to get that work-life balance piece sorted. So there's a lot going on in the marketplace. Within that SBC market, I think it's reaching 1.4 billion, close to that now. Growth anticipated about 6% for this year. So that's a key stat there. And it's interestingly, it's the sort of first time we've seen virtual overtaking the physical SBC.
Absolutely, yes. That's definitely happening. We knew it would, and it's starting to make itself known widely, which is great. Industry-wise, as you touched on, different trends. It's interesting because different regions are moving at different paces. So some are a lot more mature and advanced in the whole ISDN to SIP to cloud adoption. Some other regions are very early on. So at our level, our visibility, we're still seeing the same use cases broadly used, but across multiple regions. But it is absolutely fair to say, certainly in the UK, that the move from ISDN to SIP has been phenomenal. It continues to sort of charge on, and then that is happening in other regions as well. So this is all driving growth for SIP trunk adoption, UCaaS adoption, old to new telephony and integration, which ultimately requires session border controllers. They're the box on the network that does all the interoperability magic, the Swiss Army knife of the voice world. For those that know about session border controllers, they will understand this. But for those who are interested to learn more, it's one of those devices that are everywhere but not really talked about. And it really does open doors in terms of driving business because it solves interoperability problems for when deploying voice into different environments. It overcomes challenges. In fact, challenges are often shied away from reseller partners because it's too complex, whereas our partners, or certainly Techland, Gamma, we enjoy challenges because we know we can solve the vast majority of them with session border controllers, being that interworking interoperability device. The use case for hardware sales now is being driven by large enterprise customers that have huge amounts of sites that they need to voice enable across the globe, and they're using Teams Operator Connect, which broadly addresses simple routing requirements for the customer. Let's say you're working with a customer you want to onboard, and they've got 100 sites. They want 100% of those sites enabled. Operator Connect, for argument's sake, just throw numbers out there, can deal with 80-90% of it, which is great. You can just roll it out, fairly straightforward. But what do you do with the remaining 10-20%? You can't ignore that, otherwise you won't win the business.
Yeah.
So certainly that's where we're seeing the hardware growth or opportunities resurfacing in that form, whereby those particular countries or regions need on-premise session border controllers, because either the cloud adoption or reliability isn't there for that particular site. It could be a compliance or extended security policies where they need physical kit on the ground, can't go across the cloud. It could be legalities around SIP. So that's not permitted in certain countries, so you need ISDN 30. So the SBC will connect to the ISDN 30 circuits at the PSTN, convert it into SIP, and send that SIP call into Teams or WebEx or platform of choice, for example. So we're seeing that growing in the large enterprise deployment sector and service providers which play in that space. So on the other hand, virtual session border controllers have replaced a lot of the hardware SBCs that we used to sell, but that's in a different scenario whereby they prefer, perhaps in the regions and geographies of the UK and Europe, where adoption into the virtual space and cloud space has been a lot more forthcoming and quicker, and the preference for virtual SBCs is the advantage is really that there's no hardware depreciation. You're not buying a hardware SBC that is going to lose its value over time. It removes the threat from vendor, EOSL, end of service life or end of product sale, where they're changing models or releasing new versions or the old versions going out of date. So by going virtual, you kind of remove all that piece. That's been a big driver for virtual SBCs.
But the other parts, what we've been seeing, fax is still there.
Yes.
They're still out there in certain countries.
Fax.
Loving that. Contact centers, we're picking up a lot around the contact center piece and that integration into the contact centers that you mentioned about the large global deployments, or any deployment size really, that if there's anything complex, if there's anything bespoke, that's where the SBC really comes into its own, and you can plug in multiple platforms. You can make it easier to migrate, big bang or slowly across. So we've been seeing a lot of that side, but contact center definitely has been an area.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That seems to be increasing more so now. The combination of enterprise realizing and utilizing contact centers, the more modern cloud versions, more frequently. Why is that? Well, the technology is getting better. The cloud stack is getting better. The ability to integrate them to legacy contact centers and solutions is getting better, and it's getting better with the help of session border controllers and voice gateways. So certainly that's an interesting area to play in as well, especially with Ribbon's products, and we'll come on to it in a bit. Spoiler alert: with the launch of the Edge 8000, which has the best of both worlds for those types of deployments.
But you mentioned Ribbon, and it's probably a really good segue into that, because that's who we use. That's the partner we've chosen, and you've the relationship for many years. It'd be great to sort of give a bit more background around that relationship with Ribbon over time, and
Yes, it has been a long time, and we've enjoyed that relationship Techland's enjoyed that relationship for a good 20 years, 25 years, as I mentioned before. Wow. Before Ribbon, it was Sonus. Before Sonus, it was Network Equipment Technologies, who kind of broke into the early the Unified Communications market with OC and Lighthouse and early versions of Link, and then predating that, it was Quantum Technologies for the very early voice over IP gateway. So we've got that knowledge with us that we've taken into today's world. I don't know where I'm going with that, to be honest with you. Ribbon as a company, yes, very well known, reputable. They've got over 1,000 plus customers. They work heavily with the tier 1, tier 2, 3 service providers, good 3,500 employees worldwide with numerous points of presence in over 140 countries. Their technology is reliable, strong, and robust. Their support is reliable and robust as well, which is one of the reasons why we work with Ribbon and not so much with other vendors. The reason for that, one of the reasons for that is that Techland's reputation in the marketplace is around quality of service, nimble, agile turnaround on the quotation and sales support side. As I mentioned before, though, a key part of that reputation is through technical support capabilities around the product, level 1, the level 2. We win business just in that reputation alone. And the point being is that we are also reliant on the vendor's capability for things which are outside of our hands. So code-related issues, level 3, level 4 issues. We get good, strong support from Ribbon on that. So that doesn't compromise our reputation. We trust that. And that means we can deliver peace of mind all the way through the support chain, regardless of the circumstances. So that's a key reason for choosing Ribbon. Also, their technical capabilities, not at support level, but also at a product development level. These session border controllers are doing a tremendous amount of work in terms of supporting multiple vendors, multiple call control platforms, different SIP stacks. The amount of sort of manipulation or call manipulation that's going on in a session border controller is vast. The base software always has to change to meet demands, that configuration changes on Teams and Webex and Zoom and other call control platforms. So development is always running fast. It can't stop, right? So you need a vendor partner such as Ribbon that's got deep technical relationships with their strategic technology partners, such as the Cisco, such as the Teams. So they're working in advance of releases, because all that code and all that logic has to arrive on an SBC firmware release, and it has to be rock solid. These are serious deployments that need that level of quality at a reliability and software layer. So we know that Ribbon does it. We know it does it well. So that's a key reason for us. Paul, if I may, I'll ask yourself a question, and that's along the lines of, from a Gamma partner perspective, if you could just explain some thoughts on how the Techland proposition ties into the Gamma portfolio and vision and direction.
Yeah, sure. So, the SBCs are really at the heart of all voice management, all voice traffic and voice services that we provide. So Techland sort of fits beautifully in there, enriches the current portfolio that we offer today. So you've mentioned already around Operator Connect. We offer Cisco, we offer connectivity services, mobile services, and really the way I see it fitting is with those, we touched on bespoke services, those that are needed, that dedicated SBC for more complex scenarios, which have got contact centers, needing that to integrate into other PBXs. There's multiple needs for the session border controller. The bit that I really see it come into play is with the international piece. So now with Gamma being able to offer out a global service through the acquisition of Courtwave, which is now Global Communications Enablement.
Well done.
It's that piece has been covered really well by Mike Mills in a previous podcast and Dave Williams. So they go into a lot more detail around regulatory piece, the countries that we cover, but we see that sitting side by side really, where we're able to offer that international piece, SBC, virtual or physical, have that delivered to whichever countries you need that, but then having maybe Gamma SIP UK, leading UK SIP provider, get that, and now we can offer international numbering, two-way voice, and then porting services across multitude of different countries. So that's where it's really sitting well. And how we sort of differentiate to other providers is that is one agreement, is one bill. So many partners we're talking around at the moment are trying to consolidate the amount of providers they have, different support mechanisms, different places to go. Actually, now you can get all these services from us. We can provide that one level of support across a multitude of different services, and do that locally and globally now as well.
Fantastic. Excellent.
The bit I wanted to mention just around some of the support that we've been offering the partners recently, you've been engaged with, well, we both have, with some of the tech workshops we've been running with partners. So they've been really successful and well received. So covering off latest roadmap items, working through the way that their business is going to be structured later on, looking at future opportunities, widening it out with new licensing models which they've got, which I think touch on with true forwarding licensing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Piece. We've got RAMP, which gives all these management tools which are available, analytics. So there's a lot more around the actual than just the SBC itself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and they're key points to discuss. And we'd be more than happy to have individual sessions or speak with partners on the merits of that RAMP platform, the new licensing model.
Sure. So one thing we have been working really hard with, marketing team have been working really hard with Ribbon, is actually getting a lot more collateral out there to our partners and enabling that and sharing that information. So we've revamped our website. We've got all the data sheets, latest data sheets coming through. We're doing breakfast briefings and having a lot more conversations with all types of different partners. But I think there's a bit of a news that you wanted to share.
That's right. Yes, there is news. For those that haven't, that they're not aware, there's been an announcement by Ribbon, twofold. The new platform, the Edge 8000, has been launched. It was launched some of the earlier models towards the end of last year, but there's a brand new model that has just been launched called the 8500, and that complements 3 different model types within the series now of the Edge 8000, and that is aimed at both the enterprise and the service provider marketplace. It is a hardware-based SBC. It has a fantastic scale-up for both physical telephony connections, such as analog FXS, FXO, PRI, ISDN30, as well as support for SIP as well, with high calls per second support. So between 25 to 35 calls per second, which is high as far as gateways go, and a fantastic platform for contact centers in mind. One of the reasons why there's been a big push on this particular platform as well, it's as a replacement for the SBC 2000 series, which has been a long-standing platform from Ribbon, and it has been part of the plan to release a replacement for it, of which the Edge 8000 is very much the solution. Is very much the answer. Is very much the replacement product for the SBC 2000, which has or due today or tomorrow to become end of a product sale for any new hardware based chassis. The SKUs are still orderable, however, for licensing and for upgrades for existing platforms, but for any new hardware purchases, those SKUs are being revoked, with the Edge 8000 being the replacement latest and greatest platform, which is brilliant. It's a superb box. For those existing SBC 2000 customers out there, you're probably asking, yes, but what about support? Well, the good news is the platform will be supported for a further 5 years. So it gives plenty of time to plan transitions from the SBC 2000 to the Edge 8000, or perhaps to a virtual platform. So that's reassurance and peace of mind. But specifically for any partners that have questions about what that journey is, and to go into the dates and the details, and to provide customers with a bit more reassurance, of those key milestones and what the next steps are, and conversations are about replacement and having them migrated across into a new platform, then feel free, of course, to reach out to myself, yourself, and Techland.
Thank you very much for your time watching this. If you want to get in touch, then our contact details are within the description, or contact me directly, or sales@techland.co.uk. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, likewise. Thanks, Paul. Good to speak to you. And just to reiterate, if anybody wants a quote, then feel free to get in touch.